from the area's news leader in high definition. This is your News Now at 6.
10 years ago today, the Bluffton University and community woke up to shocking news. A bus filled with over 30 members of the Bluffton baseball team was in a devastating accident 600 miles away. Jeff Fitzgerald is live right now at Bluffton University, remembering one of the biggest news stories that's ever affected our area. Jeff.
Thank you very much, Jessica, and good evening from Bluffton. We are here at the Circle of Remembrance, built to honor the 2007 Bluffton baseball team that was involved in that horrific crash. At the center of this sculpture behind me, entitled Touching Home, with the cleat marks from the 5 players who were lost on that day 10 years ago. It's a somber remembrance of what happened 10 years ago today, early morning, March 2nd, 2007. Our own Katie Hongiford takes a look back at what happened on that day.
It was just after 5:30 in the morning on March 2nd, 2007, when first responders in Atlanta got the call of an accident on I-75. But until they arrived on scene, they didn't know the full extent of how bad the accident was.
When I pulled up, when I first laid eyes on it, I made a report that, it was clear that we knew it was going to be a very serious incident, multiple injuries and probable fatalities.
The bus was traveling at highway speeds when it drove onto an exit ramp. The driver failed to stop at the top of the ramp, causing it to crash through a cement barrier. The bus fell 19 feet from the overpass to the highway below, and the players, most of them sleeping, were not sure what happened at first.
The immediate aftermath was just kind of like, what happened? Can we make sense of this somehow? And then as we started to figure it out, we realized the seriousness of the situation.
28 members of the baseball team were injured in the crash, and 4 members, Scott Harmon, Tyler Williams, Cody Holt, and David Betts, died from their injuries the day of the crash, along with the driver Jerry Niemeyer and his wife Jean. Zachary Arend passed away a week later. Atlanta first responders admit with the emotions and chaos of that day, the team stood strong for one another.
And that was probably the biggest thing that stood out in my mind was that these young men, even though they had been through such a horrible thing, I think their faith was strong, and I think that's what led them through this, and I think that's what gave them the strength to handle it the way they did and to respond the way they did.
Family members of the victims felt support from people across the United States to help them deal with their loss resulting from this tragic crash.
Everybody kind of really came together and supportive, from the university to the people in Atlanta to all of the emergency personnel. I mean, it was pretty amazing. Everybody from the Red Cross to people we didn't even know that came out and were supportive.
For some team members who were seriously injured, they know just how lucky they are to be alive.
Because I know science says that I should be dead. It is only by the tremendous gift, by the grace of God, that I am alive. And my heart just aches for the families of the ones who were killed.
To continue their healing, the team decided collectively that they needed to take the field and play ball.
To make it better, we needed to play, and we needed to play for those guys. That's what they would have wanted, and we had a team meeting, and that's what we said. We knew each one of those guys would have wanted us to play, and that was really the best medicine for all of us as well.
For your News Now, I'm Katie Hongiford.
All right, thank you very much, Katie. It takes teamwork to win on the field. It also takes teamwork to recover from a tragedy like the Bluffton bus crash. Head baseball coach James Grandy saw that teamwork firsthand and knows the importance of teamwork following that crash. Here's Stuart Hall with that story.
A group of people coming together with one common goal. That is the definition of a team. Coach James Grandy says that he thought the players were a close-knit team before the March 2nd accident. But as each of the players drew on others for strength, the team dynamic became even stronger.
They just had to lean on each other, and we had to, as a group, to pull through all the feelings and emotions we were having and the grieving that we were going through. So it definitely highlighted and emphasized the togetherness we already had, but it certainly moved it forward for us.
Grandy was one of the most seriously injured during the bus crash and says the outpouring of support for himself and his team while they recovered was incredible.
thousands of letters and emails and messages that we receive, and obviously the prayers and the things that we don't even know about, the support that we were getting. And so it's always been a hard job to thank so many people, but it really was heartwarming and a part of our recovery to know that so many people cared about us.
And future Beaver baseball players learned from the start the importance of being a part of this team.
You know, we walk everyone to the field to show them our field, and obviously the first thing we come to is a circle of remembrance. You know, and it's such a great place to honor the 5 players that we lost and also the entire 2007 team. So every recruit that comes to learn more about our program and to be a part of what we're doing sees that front and center, because they know and they have a better idea what it means to play Bluffton baseball.
For your News Now, I'm Stuart Hall.
Thank you very much, Stuart. Today being the 10th anniversary of the Bluffton bus crash reminds us all of a statement that's never been disproven. The hardest thing a parent will ever do is bury a child. That's what Gary and Julie Harmon did 10 years ago with their son Scott, affectionately known as Scotty G. He was killed in the bus crash, and I recently sat down with Julie to talk about her son 10 years to the day after the crash. That early March day in 2007 is still as vivid as ever for Julie Harmon. Not one day passes that she doesn't think of Scott. For those that have lost loved ones, you often hear, time heals. Harmon's not so sure that's entirely true.
I don't know that time heals. I think time helps you pretend to the public or to other people that you're doing okay. I don't think you ever have that place in your heart or whatever that actually heals over. You just learn how to put one foot in front of the other and look for bright spots every day.
Since his death, Scott's 2 brothers have gotten married. His sister was already married. Friends have gotten married, and Scott's always remembered at all of these events. And he now has 3 nieces and a nephew. All joyous occasions, but also hard to know and accept he's not here to celebrate with his family.
You know, it just kind of tugs at you even more, you know. So to say that it's, yes, it is very hard to believe it's been 10 years, because I can tell you every vivid moment is in my brain, my heart, my soul.
The Harmons and all the families affected by this tragedy have had to look at their calendars and stare at March 2nd for a decade, knowing what happened that day 10 years ago. The Harmons spend the day reflecting and remembering.
Obviously, it's not a day to celebrate, and March 2nd does not define who Scott is. It defines where the nation or whatever recognizes this crash or whatever, but it does not define Scott. It does not define our family. But yes, we're very close.
We're back here in Bluffton Live with the president of Bluffton University, Dr. James Harder, here at the Circle of Remembrance, looking back on the 10-year anniversary of the 2007 Bluffton bus crash. You were relatively new at the time of the bus crash. Take me back to that day and the memories you have.
Well, I was in my 7th month of my presidency, and I got a phone call early in the morning, and we went from there. I think my overwhelming memory is just the fact that we were doing this together as a community, as supporters that we didn't know we had, particularly down in Atlanta, the incredible support that we got from people that helped us in so many ways.
Let's talk about, fast forward now 10 years to today. I saw some of the video, a wonderful memorial remembrance held this earlier today, just before the noon hour.
Yeah, it was a special moment here today. I mean, 10 years ago is a long time. We reflected that today's students were between 8 and 12 years old when this accident happened. And, you know, it's such an important part of our history, defining moment really for the university, and not just because we always want to remember the 5 who died, our students, as well as the bus driver and his wife, but, you know, we want to remember what it meant for our community to come together in the way that it did, and I think really what it meant for the entire region. Wherever I travel, even far away in the United States, I still have people talking about what happened 10 years ago, and I think it struck a chord. I mean, the story of young lives lost, the story of recovery, the story of bravery and athletics coming together, and then a community just rallying, and those are very precious memories to hold on to.
All right, Dr. Harder, thanks for joining us. Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.